The Dragon Ball franchise sells us the idea that Vegeta is completely overpowered, insanely strong, super smart, and so calculating that every move looks like it's been planned down to the last detail, exactly what you'd expect from a royal prince. If you actually look closely at his story, it's full of ridiculous mistakes. Welcome to another episode where we break down a character who's supposed to be a genius, but whose actions prove the exact opposite. And today's subject is none other than the proud Saiyan prince himself, Vegeta, a guy who literally had everything he needed to become the god of the universe, second only to Beerus. But thanks to his never-ending arrogance, constantly pushing him to screw up over and over, he ended up throwing away the greatest opportunity of his life. Vegeta's very first mistake started the moment he was born. Yeah, you heard that right. This guy came out of the womb already flexing with some ridiculous pride over something he didn't even have yet. From childhood, Vegeta believed he was the strongest being in the universe. The problem? That was light years away from the truth, and there's plenty of evidence to prove it. His warped perception of his own power started early, and the main culprit was none other than his dad, King Vegeta. This man raised his son on a massive lie, that Vegeta was the Saiyan with the highest power level ever recorded. Reality check, there were baby Saiyans out there who outclassed Vegeta tens of thousands of times over, but good old King Vegeta made sure to take care of them. And here's the perfect example, Broly. Now that guy was broken beyond repair, a monster of power on a whole other level. Of course, Vegeta didn't know any of this, so maybe we can't blame him entirely, but here's what he did know. There were plenty of warriors from other races who were way stronger than your average Saiyan. And still, Vegeta kept bragging about being royalty, a prodigy, and how he could blow up planets in seconds if he wanted. The truth? He couldn't even go one-on-one against Frieza's basic bodyguards. Like, seriously? High class? Huh, Vegeta? Man, I would hate to see what low class looks like. The second mistake from Vegeta is so ridiculous it borders on flat-out stupidity. And I'm not exaggerating. Our so-called Saiyan prince literally had the chance to flip the entire story in his favor, but of course he threw it all away thanks to his arrogance. Before Vegeta ever set foot on Earth, where we all know he would run into Goku, he was hanging out with Nappa on another planet. That's where Raditz's death comes up, and they reach a key conclusion. On Earth, a human Saiyan hybrid had been born, and with the info Raditz managed to send before he died, they realized something even bigger. Not only are humans compatible with Saiyans, but hybrids actually have the potential to be stronger than pure-blooded Saiyans. Right then, Nappa, with a stroke of genius, hey, this is the perfect chance to rebuild the Saiyan race and start our own empire. And honestly, it wasn't a bad idea at all. Think about it. If Vegeta and Nappa had pumped out, say, 10 hybrid kids, trained them, and raised them to be loyal, in just a few years, they would have had the strongest military force in the universe. Vegeta could have crowned himself as the absolute king of the brand new Saiyan era. But nope, at this point in the story, Vegeta was completely incapable of processing any logical idea that didn't come from his own ego. So he brushed off Nappa's proposal and, true to form, went with whatever he wanted. In doing so, he single-handedly erased the best shot he would ever have at ruling the universe. Mistake 3. Sorry to put it this way, but Vegeta crapped all over the place. And not just once, but over again until he couldn't anymore. In this part, I'm gonna pack in a bunch of his screw-ups so we can move on faster. The first big blunder happens when Nappa loses the fight and ends up badly injured. And what does our genius Monkey Prince do? He comes up with the brilliant idea of sending Nappa to the other side. Yep, deported straight to the afterlife. Bye-bye, Nappa! Except there's one tiny problem. Tiny like Vegeta's brain. He was on an unknown planet, surrounded by enemies, and his only ally in the entire universe was Nappa. But Vegeta was like, nah, screw it, don't need him. Bravo, Prince! You left yourself completely alone. Let's just hope that doesn't backfire. Spoiler, it backfires hard. Because just when Vegeta was about to finish off Goku, guess who shows up? Yep, Goku's friends, ready to bail him out. And you know what would have been really useful in that moment? Having Nappa around, even half dead, to keep them busy while you got the job done. And then comes another masterpiece of stupidity. I swear, when I saw this scene, I literally thought, Vegeta, are you dumb or are you just cosplaying as dumb? So Gohan transforms into a giant ape and goes completely out of control. control. At this point, Mr. Elite Warrior actually has everything lined up to win the fight. All he had to do, literally the only thing, was destroy the fake moon he himself had created. Boom! Problem solved. Gohan would have gone back to being the crybaby kid we all know. But no, because Vegeta loves screwing himself over. He decides to fight the giant ape head-on. And well, we all know how that turned out. The monkey gave him the beating of his life. All these mistakes could have been avoided with just a little bit of self-control and less arrogance. But asking that from Vegeta is like asking him to get a real job instead of marrying a billionaire so she can pay the bills. Impossible! Mistake 4, or actually whatever number we're on, because I've already lost count. Up to this point, a high-class prince has had some bad luck, but that doesn't necessarily make him stupid, or does it? Honestly, I don't even know how to explain this without sounding stupid myself. And believe me, I'm trying hard here. Lol. Our Royal Excellence, the manliest and smartest of them all, the Triple H of anime, managed to pull off a record-breaking screw-up. The master plan was flawless. Gather the Dragon Balls, wish for immortality, and then take down Frieza. The problem? Vegeta forgot one teeny tiny little detail. He explained his entire plan while his scouter was still on. Yeah, the scouter. The one with the built-in microphone connected straight to Frieza's network. So, of course, Frieza heard absolutely everything and started his own Dragon Ball hunt. Round of applause for the genius of the year. Bravo, bravo. Congratulations, Vegeta. You basically handed your worst enemy the keys to immortality, all because it never crossed your mind to turn off the mic. And honestly, at the rate we're going, I don't think I'll have enough time to cover all the rest of his mistakes, because Vegeta has an endless collection of them. So if you want to hear the rest, don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell, and smash the like button, because this was just part 1. Mistake 5. This one's a whole saga on its own because I'm gonna cover several blunders. There are just too many. You've probably heard the saying, tripping over the same stone twice. Well, Vegeta is in love with that stone. If it were up to him, he'd marry it. Except he doesn't, because then he'd have to get a job to support the stone. On Namek, Vegeta really outdid himself. Too bad it was in all the wrong ways. Let's start with his first act of brilliance on this planet. The one and only time he actually used his head was when he teamed up with Gohan and Krillin to collect the Dragon Balls. His big master plan? To wish for immortality, so he could take down Frieza. Sounds smart, right? Until you remember one tiny detail. Being immortal doesn't make you any stronger. Sure, Vegeta would live forever, but he'll still be Frieza's little pet for all eternity. Basically, congrats Prince, you're immortal now. Oh, and Frieza's eternal bitch. There are so many better ways to use the Dragon Balls. You could have wished Frieza into the middle of the sun, tossed him into a black hole, or just erased him from existence. But no! Vegeta went with the dumbest option available. At this point, he had everything except common sense. And honestly, knowing some people in my country, it's probably best if Vegeta never visits. They'll definitely, voting president. Lol. But wait, we're not done yet. Even though he was weaker than Frieza, Vegeta still had a slim chance of hurting him while he was in his first form. The obvious move would have been to attack with everything he had while they were kinda sorta on the same level. But nope, Vegeta did what he does best. A momental screw-up. He straight up provoked Frieza into transforming because he actually believed he could beat the Emperor of the Universe. Comedy gold! Frieza starts powering up and Vegeta's already shaking like he just saw his bank account hit 0. And instead of attacking during those endless minutes it takes Frieza to transform, he just stands there watching, like it's some fireworks show. Frieza turns into a giant space lizard and beats the royal crap out of him. And what genius idea does our negative IQ prince come up with next? Another master plan? Letting Krillin nearly kill him so Dendi could heal him and he'd get a Saiyan power boost. Sounds tactical. Until you remember Frieza was literally transforming at the same time and could have killed him with a sneeze. There were 1,000 ways this could have gone horribly wrong. The hit could have been too strong and killed him instantly. Frieza could have figured it out and finished him off. Or, surprise surprise, the healer might just refuse to help him because, oh yeah, Vegeta had just finished slaughtering all of Dendi's friends. And guess what? At first, Dendi did refuse to heal him. The only reason Vegeta survived was because he got talked into it. If it were up to the little green guy, Vegeta would have stayed dead on the spot. You know what, Vegeta? I'm honestly glad Android 18 handed you the beating of your life. You never learn. And I couldn't be happier about it.